Welcome y'all to our first ever segment of Ask JYD. I know it's been like a little minute since y'all have seen my content room. It's been a whole lot. What is this? Oh, just a foot massager. Get out of here. It's been a lot of life stuff going on, so yeah, there's that. But anywho, we are going to. Oh, also this episode is sponsored by Only Balds. But also if you're looking for any Terrible Joint merch, go on ahead, hit that link in the bio, the Grizzam, and yeah, they're on sale now. But anyway, we're going to jump right into these questions. Wow. So the first question comes from GRFFXTH, and his question is, I'm competing in Golden Gloves. What do I need to know? That is an excellent question, actually, and I don't fully have the answer. Why? Because I've actually never fought in Golden Gloves ever in my life. I've never been to a Golden Gloves. I've never been to a Nationals. I've never done any of those things at all. Golden Gloves, Silver Gloves, any of those things. Never done it at all. I only had 6 amateur fights. I was 6-0 with 5 knockouts as an amateur. And yeah, I started boxing like mega late. Most of my amateur career was actually in pro camps. I was just working with a lot of professional fighters in their camps and all that other cool shit, and just working with pro fighters overall in general. Think how David Benavidez's amateur career was just like with a bunch of pros. I wasn't sparring the guys he was sparring. I was getting some world-class work, but not like super duper elite world-class work at that time. That came a little bit later down the line, but yeah. I did get a couple world-class guys though early on, and then as the years progressed, yeah. But I would say use it the same way. You should know essentially the same thing as you would know as a regular fight. Keep your defense sound, stay defensively sound, stay offensively wise, and let your hands go. In the amateurs, you absolutely have to worry about scoring points and letting your hands go. Let them go, let them go, let them go. But stay defensively sound. And if you can get the stoppage, that's better. It's always best to get a stoppage. Why? Because if you get a stoppage, then you're your own judge. The crowds, I'm sure, at Golden Gloves are going to be much bigger. So don't fall into fear or trying to impress nobody, right? It's okay to have fear. Fear keeps you aware. Fear keeps you aware. It keeps you alert, but you can't allow the fear to consume you. There's a huge difference, because if you allow the fear to consume you, then you're going to shell up and not going to have a good performance, and most likely you're going to lose. But if you use that fear to just keep you alert and keep your wits about you, then you'll be fine. So yeah, stay hydrated, locked in, focused, and yeah, most importantly, I used to hate when people say this. I don't like it being said in the pros, but in the amateurs, it's different. Have fun. Like, go out there and have fun. Amateurs is Golden Gloves is an amateurs. Amateurs is practice, dog. It's fucking practice. It's practice. It's practice. It's practice. Once you turn pro, your record starts all over at 0, 0, and 0. So go out there and have fun. I hate that in the amateurs, people are like ducking and dodging each other in the amateurs. That's a burnout to me. I hate that. That's even a thing. Like, let's get these kids fighting, and let's get them the experience, and let's get them all the things. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question is from _Cade_. If you could fight anyone, who would it be? I don't really feel that way about people, to be honest. I just want whoever got the belts at the time. I just want the names. Everything is going to come in due time. Although, yes, I am independent, I don't necessarily control my career. My dad and Breadman does. They are the ones who control my career. I just do what I'm told. If Breadman tells me to fight the wall, then I'm just going to fight the wall. It's not that deep to me. I don't care. If Breadman told me to fight, a shadow, and I'm not talking about shadow boxing, but if he told me to fight my own shadow, I would fight my own shadow. It is what it is. I do my job. I do what I'm told. My job as a fighter is to do what I'm told to do, and that's it. So I don't give a fuck who it is. Then, typically in the most humble way possible, the names, especially the people that's up and coming and contenders and prospects, and even the bigger names, they know who I am. They know exactly who I am. They've either seen my work, I've either worked with them, They seen my work. They know who I am. They're familiar with my content. They know I can fight. They know who I am. So they know exactly who I am. So I don't know. I don't really get into the whole calling out thing. Essentially, like, we're gonna meet anyway, and you know what I mean. It's going to happen. So yeah, I'm not worried about a particular and specific person, but we're going to fight everybody, inshallah. When the time's right, we're going to fight everybody, and inshallah, 2026 is going to be a huge year for us. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, and that's also not me being politically correct. It's just the truth. Like, I don't really care. Everybody, I want to fight everybody. Next question is by the People's Shooter, which is, when did you start your boxing journey? That's a great question. I started my boxing journey when I was 23 years old. My firstborn daughter needed open heart surgery when she was 3 months old, and my dad had been telling me to get into boxing years prior to that, but I was caught up in the street and caught up doing a bunch of other foolishness and BS, blah, 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 blah. My heart wasn't into boxing. I have a thing where I don't do anything unless my heart is into it. So yeah, when I was in the street and doing bad, silly stuff, my heart was into it, because like that's where I was at. That's what I wanted to do. Between poetry and boxing and then my daughter, those are the things that changed my life. Not in that order: poetry, my daughter, and then boxing. Those things are what changed my life. So I started boxing when I was 20 years old. My daughter had open heart surgery, and I was just like, man, I need to make a better way for my daughter. And I remember I called my dad, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to start boxing. And he was like, you for real? And I'm like, yeah, let's get it rolling. Let's see what you mean, like, let's see what's up. And I remember getting, because I didn't have a ladder. I didn't have like the footwork ladder. So I remember getting all my shoes and lining them up in the ladder pattern. And I remember just doing drills in my house like that. Like, I ain't have it. That's what I started off doing. Then, you know what I mean? I remember me and my wife, Bree, we used to be doing like hella pads together all the time and working on stuff. Now y'all see me do a lot more with Deja. No, y'all really see me do it all the time with Deja. Bree is more so behind the scenes. And then that's when Deja had bought me a heavy bag for the house. At that time, we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment at that time, with our daughter, and our son was going from his dad's house to our house. He would stay at his dad's house, and then he would stay at our house for the weekends and stuff, because he was going to school from his dad's house. But we had a 1-bedroom apartment, and we turned our living room into the kids' bedroom, actually. So we had the bed set up right here, and then boom. But yeah, that's when she had got the heavy bag. And then at my other house, my daughter was we essentially, it was the same thing, because I only had like one kid at a time at that time, so it wasn't really a big deal. I had one kid per house, so it wasn't really a big deal. Our 1-bedroom apartments were like cool at that time. It didn't really matter. And my kids were like mega young, like, so it didn't really matter. And yeah, that's what, then my dad called them, and then my dad, he called my brother Naeem and was like, yo, like, he's trying to box. He's serious. So then my brother and I was just coming off of a bicep tear. He had fought Mario Barrios. Damn good fight. He was winning the fight. He tore his bicep in the middle of the fight. Boom. And so he was recovering. He was healing. But at that time, he was healing, and he was able to use his arm, blah blah. And he put his whole thing on pause to actually like take me for like their first however long, just fully under his wing, and just showed me everything. And at that time, I was at Fast Lane with Zah, and from there, it literally never ever stopped, and here we are today. So that's making a very long story extremely short, because it was not that, it wasn't that cut and dry, but it was at the same time. So hope that answers your question. Great question. And the last question that we got is from Smythe L. Warfin. Hope I said that right. Rounds on a bag or running is better for stamina? That is a great fucking question. That actually is a great question. And it's really not an or. It's more like an and. Getting those, and it may have been Joe Goosen who recently said it. Don't quote me on it being Joe Goosen. Shout out to Joe Goosen. No, he's a very thorough guy. From what I know of him, I've never met him personally, but I've heard a bunch of good things about him. Also, him and Brad have a relationship. And Joe Goosen's a thorough guy. No nonsense, no BS. Knowledgeable about boxing, the whole 9 yards. But I believe it may have been Joe Goosen. But whatever the case may be, was just saying, getting those rounds in on the heavy bag, if you get those rounds in on the heavy bag and do your proper work on it, do the proper amount of time on the heavy bag in your run, there's no reason why you should not be well conditioned. Most people are so focused on pads and all of these other things that they don't focus on the heavy bag. Focus on the rounds on those heavy bags. You have to. And you also have to run. You gotta do both. There is no or in this situation. It's both. Do both. If you feel like you have great stamina and endurance from running, guess what? If you work that heavy bag the way you're supposed to work that heavy bag, your stamina is only going to increase. If you feel like you have great stamina from only working the heavy bag and then you start running, trust me, it's only going to increase. So work the heavy bag and run the miles. There is no or, there's only an and with that. So I hope that answers your question. So that wraps up the first ever episode of Ask JYD. That was super fun. Love you guys. Thank y'all for asking the questions. We'll have some more questions. We'll get some more answers and all of those things, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to all of my sponsors. Shout out to everybody who supports, like, follow, subscribe, hit that link on the Grizzam. Get your Terrible John merch because they are on sale now. And shout out to Only Balls as well. See y'all on the next one. Peace.